Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here back again with a brand new series, and as you can tell by the title, it's Fate, or Fate Zero to be exact. We are starting with Fate Zero. There was a lot of sort of back and forth in the comments of my dub versus sub for this show, whether or not the start, like where I should start would be UBW or Zero. People were saying UBW, people were saying Zero. I'm thinking the majority seem to think that Zero is the best place to start, as it is a prequel. However, I'm not sure on like the sort of when it was broadcasted, if UBW was actually broadcasted before Zero or what. I mean, I'm just going by what the majority seems to think is the best course of action, you know, to take, which is obviously to start with Zero. So that's what I'm going to do. So I apologise to those people out there with that want me to start with UBW. Obviously, I can only choose one. You know what I mean? I can't do both. So yeah, we're going to start with Fate Zero. Right, another order of business. The way I'm going to be recording this show, you guys will not notice the difference. But what I usually do when I record my reactions to something is I record the episode and my reaction in the same file. Now, obviously, there's pros and cons to that kind of style of sort of, you know, recording and editing and things like that. But it's mostly just in case shit hits the fan on, like, you know, copyright strikes and shit like that. It just allows me to sort of edit around it a bit more, to, you know what I mean, so that it's not as bad. So yeah, you guys won't notice any real differences, but I'm going to be doing it for this generally because I am coming up to a point now where I am busy sorting out a website where all of my reactions and videos and whatnot can be uploaded to that website, and therefore, you know, we don't have to run the risk of having, you know, episodes, like some episodes are just have been taken down, so there's like missing episodes in between, and you know, I know, like, you know, that kind of shit just gets annoying. So yeah, we'll be moving all of the videos that have been taken down for copyright will be going onto that website, like, gradually, you know, and I'll make sure to update you guys when that's the case. Make sure to, like, kind of like follow me on Twitter and things like that, and I'll get that updated. And also, when the website is fully operational and shit like that, I will make a video addressing that. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the fucking notification bell, even though that still doesn't seem to work sometimes. So, you know, YouTube, great job. So yeah, that's all about that. I think there's nothing really else to address. I don't think. I think that's it. Yeah. So anyway, as for Fate, I have no idea what this is about. I haven't got a clue. The only thing I know is that I know some of the characters, like, I know what they look like. I know there's like a character that is like sort of blonde hair, like put up in a, you know, and is in like armor and stuff. That's about all I know. So yeah, this is going to take a lot to it's going to be a lot to take in. People have said that, you know, there's a lot of sort of like dialogue that comes like by quick, and, you know what I mean, I need to like sort of keep an eye out and make sure I take in as much as I can. So I apologize if I do miss anything. You know, generally I do end up getting the gist of it after I've like edited it. Okay, so even though I might not like realize something straight away, I do end up realizing it by the time I've uploaded it. You know, but don't let that, you know, discourage you from like commenting and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, because I know that, like, you only know what you've seen, right? So if I like miss something, you can't really tell unless I've, like, you know, edited into the video saying, oh yeah, by the way, I picked this up. So shit like that. You know, people have said that there's, you know, a lot of information in this, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye out, and I will do. I'll try my best. And also the fact that this first episode is actually 47 minutes long, 47 and a half minutes. So it's a double feature, like a feature-length episode. Now, when it came to Made in Abyss, the finale of that was the same. That was double length, and I split it in two so that I could have two episodes with 10 minutes each. I don't normally do, like, I keep it around the 10-minute mark. You know, but as for this show, since this seemingly is more prone to copyright kind of stuff, this episode will still be only like 10 minutes of footage. So I mean, I guess that, you know, I get it. There's a lot of footage out there that you will miss in my initial reaction. If you really do want to see my reaction to the full episode, then you can go over to Patreon and get the full length tier on Patreon. and that'll give you access to my Google Drive, where you can watch the full-length reaction to all the reactions that I do, because every single reaction I do, there is a full length of it. So if you're really interested in watching my reaction fully throughout the whole episode, of course you'll have to have your own reference footage and whatnot, because it is only timer based, but you will be able to see my whole reaction to it. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, make sure you get over there and grab that. Also, Fate has 4 episodes of early access. So it's early access on Patreon. That's only $5 a month. So if you want to get access to my reactions and discussions to this show, earlier and more often, then make sure you get the early access tier, because you actually get 4 episodes of these a week if you're an early access tier patron, as opposed to the usual 2 episodes that the general public get. So yeah, if you're wanting more, make sure you go over there and get that. But I think that is all I really need to talk about, right? I don't think there's anything else. No, I think that's it. Okay, well then, without further ado, we're going to get into Fate and see what we get. So, let's go. Einsberg Castle.
君を死なせる羽目になる。
Alright, I'm guessing she knows then. She knows. What does that mean?
それがアインツベルンの悲願。そのための私、人形でない生き方を与えてくれた。あなたは私を悼まなくていい。
その子を抱く資格はない。きっ
と聖杯があなたを救うわ。だからこの子をイリアスフィールを抱いてあげて。
Damn! Blizzard! Holy shit! That is a cool as fuck building. Okay.
君の右手に現れた文様。それこそが聖杯に選ばれた証。サーバントを滑るべくして与えられた聖魂だ。聖杯戦争。奇跡の願望機を求め争う戦いに。本来なら聖杯がサーバントのマスターとして選ぶ7人はいずれも魔術師であるはずなのだが、召喚した英霊を使い魔として互いに戦わせるということもまた。無論対決は秘密裏に行うというのが暗黙の掟だ。キレイ。ここまでの話は全て聖杯戦争をめぐる表向きの事情に過ぎん。今日こうしてわしがお前と遠坂時臣死を引き合わせた理由は他にある。何せ万能の願望機だ。好ましからざる輩の手に渡ればどんな最悪を招くことか。このような浅ましい欲望のために聖杯を狙うことやら知れたものではない。無論表面上は君と私は互いに聖杯を奪い合う敵同士として振る舞うことに。
So they're looking to team up then.
我々は水面下で共闘し力を合わせて
Sneaky
残り5人のマ
motherfuckers.
スターを駆逐し殲滅する。3年後の聖杯戦争までにサーバントをしたが、
3 years from now.
マスターとして戦いに参加できるだけの魔術師になっていなければならない。マスターの選別をする聖杯の意志というのは一体どういうものなんですか。聖杯はより真摯にそれを必要とするものから、君はまだ自分が選ばれたことが不可解なんだね。
Fuyuki City.
カリア君、久しぶり。カリアおじさん。
リンちゃん、さくらちゃんは？
マトウの家に行ったわ。
どうして？
What does that mean?
私が意見できるわけがない。
落語者がよくおめおめと顔を出せたものよ。
まさかの次女を迎え入れたそうだな。
耳の早い。
あんたはあんた自身の不老不死を叶えるために聖杯を欲しているだけだろうが。取引だ、造形。俺は次の聖杯戦争でマトウに聖杯を持ち帰る。俺に刻印柱を植え付けろ。
カリア、死ぬ気か？いささか遅すぎたようじゃの。よくから声も出さなくなったわ。それでもなお救いたいと申すなら考えてやらんでもない。
依存はない。
まずは1週間虫どもの苗床になってみよう。
Hello everyone, just a reminder that if you go into the link in the description to my Patreon and get the early access tier for $5 a month, you can gain access to 4 episodes of Fate every single week. That is 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. So if you're planning for more reactions from me more frequently of Fate, make sure you go into the link in the description of my Patreon and get the early access tier for $5 a month. On with the video.
どうやら聖杯は魔術協会の最高学府時計塔からもマスターを選んだようだ。ケイネス・エリメロイ・アーチボルト。
魔術の世界では出自によってその優劣がおおむね決定されてしまう。なぜなら魔術の費用は一代でなせるものではなく、親は生涯を通じた鍛錬の成果を子へと引き継がせるためである。先日一人の学生が私のもとに論文を提出してきたからだ。この論文は今私が話した通説に一石を投じるものだ。血の浅いものであっても一流の魔術師になれると説いている。これに書かれていることは全て妄想に過ぎない。
What a dick.
魔術の優劣は血統の違いで決まる。
What
ウ
a
ェイバー・ベ
dick.
ルベット君、私の学生の中にこのような妄想を抱く者がいたとは実に嘆かわしい。君の家はまだ生まれたばかりの赤ん坊にも等しい。
バカにしやがって、バカにしやがって、
Blowhards.
君は高齢化の学生か？講義は
Necromancy.
どうした？これをアーチボルト先生に届けてもらえるか？
これですか？聖杯戦争。
Right, okay.
200年前、始まりの御三家と呼ばれるアインツベルン、マキリ、トーサカ。三家の魔術師は互いに協力し合い、サーバントと呼ばれる英霊召喚を可能とさせる。アーチャー、セイバー、ランサー、ライダー、アサシン、キャスター、
I like this.
バーサーカ
Holy fuck.
7つの聖杯戦争っていうのは肩書きも権威もいらない正真正銘の実力勝負ってことか。なおサーバントの召喚には触媒となる英霊の生物を必要とする。
The book. Oh, is there something inside it? Oh, he's fucking off with it. Of course he is. I knew he would.
この屋敷に入るところは誰にも見られてないだろうね。
ご心配なく。
それは私が保証します。いかなる小細工を浪そうとも官庁の英霊たるこの破産目の目をごまかすことは叶いません。
サシン、この場はもういい。引き続き外の警戒を。
Wait, he's one of the servants?
純血の血統を誇ってきたアインツベルンが唐突に外部の魔術師を婿養子に迎え入れた。錬金術ばかりに特化したアインツベルン系の魔術師はあらごとに向いていない。招かれた魔術師がいかにもという人物だった。エミや規律。
かねてよりコンウォールで探索させていた生異物がようやく見つかった。それを媒介とすれば今度ばかりはただの一人たりとも残すな。6のサーバントの全てを借り尽くし、必ずや第三魔法ヘブンズフィールを成就せよ。
この男は魔術師専用に特化したフリーランスの暗殺者のようなものだよ。
狙撃、毒殺、公衆の面前での爆殺、旅客機ごと撃墜、標的が乗り合わせたというだけで。
ことあるごとに世界中の紛争地に現れては傭兵として小遣い稼ぎをやっていたらしい。聖杯が選ぶ7人のマスターのうち現在判明しているのは4人。遠坂時臣、的尾刈谷、ケイネス・エルメロイ・アーチボルト、そして
エミヤ・キリツグ。
そして4人目のいや5人目のマスターは聖堂教会からの派遣で、名前は琴峰キレ。
聖堂教会からどうかしました？
経歴まで洗ってあるんだが、
飛び級で、しかも首席？大した人物のようね。
だが突然出世街道を外れて聖堂教会に志願している。だったら最初から父親と同じ道を目指したはずだ。異端討伐の任を負うものだ。要するに以前の僕と同じ。
まるで七へと赴くことに何らかの脅迫観念があったかのような。
Maybe he just wants
こ
to
れは
die for a
どうい
reason.
うことだ。
見なよ、奴が習得した魔術のカテゴリーを何でもあと一歩のところまで突き詰めておいて、そこから何の未練もなく次のジャンルに乗り換える。
Jack of all trades.
僕にはこの琴峰綺麗のあり方が恐ろしい。この男の人生には ただの一度も情熱がないそんな男が
Think
何を求めて
Thinking
どう
rivals.
して命を落としてまで
ギリギリ間に合ったではないか。
His hair's
ひと
changed.
まずは褒めて取らすぞカリア。無様な姿よな。
Oh, they're eating
怒る
skin.
な怒るな。一年耐えた褒美じゃ。貴様にふさわしい生物を見つけておいたわ。
聖杯は僕の才能を認めてくれたんだ。
まさか本当に伝説の聖剣の鞘を見つけてくるなんて
ただ装備しているだけでこの鞘は伝説の通りに持ち主の傷を癒し
What?
老化を停滞させる。これが大おじい様の判断なのね。
果たしてそうなんだろうか間違いなく召喚に応じるのは目当ての英霊になるだろう伝説の騎士王アーサー・ペンドラゴンマスターである
this
僕と
again.
のこんにちはリン
So this guy's
こんに
voice,
ちはキレ
I feel like doesn't
Guys,
fit
かな
his.
キレあなたを信じていいですか？
ちょうどいいところに来てくれた手配していた聖遺物が今朝ようやく届いたよはるかな太鼓この世で初めて脱皮した
The
蛇の抜け
first
殻の化石
snake.
バイバイカリアおじさん。
I'm rooting for this guy. I'm rooting for this guy.
カリア、お主の魔術師としての格は他のマスターどもに比べればいささか以上に劣るのでな。呼び出すサーバントには強化の属性を付加してもらうかな。
Oh Jesus, that's not good, is it?
満たせ満たせ満たせ満たせ満たせ。
Oh shit, they're all getting it
繰り
now.
返す都度に5度。
祖に石と契約の太鼓降り立つ風には壁を王国に至るサンサロは循環せよサーバントの召喚にはそれほど大掛かりな号令は必要ないんだ僕はマスターとして現れた英霊をこちら側の世界につなぎ止め実体化できるだけの魔力を供給しさえすればいい
汝の身は我が元に違うならば答えよ。
誓いをここに我は常世すべての善となり我は常世すべてを
その目を混沌に曇らせはめるべし汝狂乱の檻に囚われし者我は
Christ.
その鎖を探る者
六死の輪より来たれ天秤の守り手
This is what cool. I'm so in. Oh.
こいつは
と
It's a woman. This is what I know.
あなたが私のマスターか？
Damn. Oh shit. Okay, episode 1 of Fate Zero. I'm in. I am absolutely in. There's only been like what was it that I think when it comes the only times I've ever really said that on episode 1 was Attack on Titan, Code Geass, and this. So I'm excited. I love it. I love I've always liked the idea of having like, you know, if I was ever to like sort of create my own story, I would do it very similar to this, where, but maybe like instead of having it all like congested into one episode, I feel like they're doing that because it's, you know, it's a prequel. It was created after the initials, so I'm guessing they assume like, you know, that people have already seen like Stay Night or whatever, so they know what the deal is, so they don't have to like go into it and all of that. But like I've always thought that like if I was to create my own story, I would have multiple people and sort of build them up as individual characters, and then have them sort of like meet at some point. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this where they're going in a war against each other, but like I like the idea that if you can get behind characters on their own, if you can build up a story with characters that have never met each other before, like the main characters have never met before, but enjoy them as themselves in different locations, and then have them meet up, like that is a big sort of, I've always thought that like that's a nice little it's a nice feeling having like two characters that you know like meet up for the first time and interact. It's kind of like how like the Avengers work, you know, with Marvel and stuff like that, where you've seen them all like in their individual films and then they meet up and it's like, oh, this is a great feeling. I love this. So I do feel like a similar sort of vibe, obviously, with them all. You know, they know of each other. You know, but it's like you do get this feeling like, you know, each of them are doing their own thing and they're about to all come, you know, crashing together. So I really like that. Okay, so we started off in Einsberg Castle in Germany. I'm guessing those are the... Right, okay, so I'm not sure, because I'm not sure about how fate works, I am not sure if it's a case of there is clear, like, you know, it's clear light and day who the sort of protagonists are. And I'm, you know, if that's the case, if that's the way the story's going to be told, then I'm guessing it's Einsberg that we are rooting for. Those are like the guys that you're supposed to, you know, the cliche sort of protagonist kind of things. Of course, with Emiya being, I mean, we don't know what he's like. We've only heard stories about him being like an assassin. He's, you know, apparently according to what is his name? Tosaka. Tokiyomi. According to him, he was telling stories of the guy who, you know, had targets, one target on a plane. He brought the whole plane down just because the target was on it. I don't know if that was like a commercial flight, like, you know, had actual like civilians and innocent people on it, or what. You know, but we kind of get an idea that if he's an assassin, then, you know, generally he might not be the most upstanding guy, that, you know, the honorable type. So, you know, it's going kind of against the cliche if that's the way they're going with that story, and we're supposed to follow the Einsberg as sort of the protagonists. I mean, they were the first brought up in the episode. They've got the strongest, you know, the most well-known Fate character, as far as I know. You know, I mean, that's the one character that I know. So, you know, it's definitely up there. Let's put it that way. Or it could be going in a different route, in which case if it wants to tell the story of like, right, you've got all these choices, you choose who you want to follow. Like, you know, I guess you can do that anyway. But I feel like maybe for the sake of the story, there's a clear sort of, you know, yeah, it's sort of Einsberg that you're supposed to kind of root for. Like, that's the kind of thing, you know what I mean? They're propped up for a reason. And having Arthur Pendragon as your fucking as your servant is that's a fucking win right there, isn't it? Okay, so there's 7 different servants. I didn't catch them all. There was Saber, obviously that's Arthur, supposed to take the form of like Arthur Pendragon. So they don't go by their actual names. They just, well that'd be stupid, wouldn't it? Calling that woman Arthur, that wouldn't work. You know. So yeah. So they all have their own like individual names. Like Saber, there was Assassin, there was I don't know, like Barbarian. It almost like went through like a bunch of, I'm not sure if even Barbarian was one of them. It was something like that, but they essentially have like almost different, they did mention it's almost like different classes, like in a video game kind of thing, like that kind of, it's like that kind of setup. But you know, they're not obviously as obvious. Like, it's not like, oh, warrior, rogue, fucking hunter. It's not really as set out as that. You know, but I'm guessing they all have, you know, individual sort of ways of working. Interestingly enough, I did write down, I did say during the episode, if I didn't end up putting the reaction, then obviously you wouldn't have missed it unless you're a full-length tier patron. But I wrote down, yeah, there's no correlation between the master and servant. So because Emiya was an assassin at one point, he wouldn't be given, it's not like, alright, well, he's been given the assassin servant then. You know, and I think that is a sort of a good thing. You know, I think the idea that, you know, I mean, I don't see the point in having a master, right, and a servant sort of working with the same assets. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really, because then if you come up into a situation where, you know, it doesn't suit an assassin, you know what I mean? Maybe like head-to-head fight kind of shit. You know, then, you know, you would like to have something that would be able to sort of counter the situation that you're in. So the fact that he's an assassin, he can probably work in the shadows, do a bit of like, you know, sneaky shit, you know, to gain an advantage or whatever. maybe some sabotage, and then you have Saber, who's obviously like apparently the best, the strongest one, and is clearly going to be the best sword fighter in the game. So you know, to have her there, if shit gets ugly and has to, you know, come onto a head-to-head fight, then that's good as well. So yeah, that's good. I didn't really get a look at who else had what. I don't that Hassan guy, the guy, like I thought it was a familiar at first, but is that actually? I mean, because Kyrie did mention assassin, so is that actually the assassin servant then? And he just somehow he managed to summon his beforehand, before everybody else. I'm guessing so. I mean, Kyrie, according what Emiya had said, is Kyrie is somebody who has you know, he's learned. He's very learned in terms of all of a lot of magical schools of the different types of magic. So they obviously mentioned like necromancy, a bunch of different ones that I didn't write down. But he basically got to the point where he could work on and master it, but then he stopped and changed to a different one. I'm wondering if he's just going for a jack of all trades kind of thing, where so that, you know, if he ever comes up against those types of magics, he knows how to handle them. I'm guessing that's more what it is, as opposed to mastering a couple. He's able to get a lock on as to what magics are coming at him, and he can kind of deal with all of them, which could end up being a very smart move. As opposed to what's his name, Kenneth, is it? Yeah, Kenneth Archibald, who I believe he's mastered 3 different arts, and one of them is necromancy, right? So yeah. For some reason, I can't see Kenneth going very far, which is great because he's representing my country, innit? It's like, why is it that Britain always gets the dicks? Why do I have to? For fuck's sake. I mean, I guess if we are like, I don't know, because where's Waver from? Waver said that he's studying abroad, right? Did he say that? I remember him saying something about being studying abroad, but he's using like a sort of he's basically changing people's memories and stuff. Like he's altering them so that he can work where he's working. I'm guessing that he came across and changed these people's memories just so he can live with them and act like he could, he had a place to stay, and he went and learned at that school. I'm guessing that's what it is. So I don't know where he's from. Waver, I could not even begin to tell you where I think that name's from. But yeah, so yeah, we didn't exactly get the only sort of master servant combos I know is Emiya and Saber, and I think Kyrie and the assassin guy, or Hassan. But I'm not 100% on whether that Hassan guy was actually the assassin. And also, I'm wondering exactly what the other ones are. So obviously Saber is Arthur Pendragon, right? What the other ones are, I'm guessing that'll just be like that's it for Knights of the Round Table. It's not going to be every servant is a Knight of the Round Table, right? Because it said heroes from the past. I'm guessing it's going to be very, very top tier figures of whether that out of legends and myths and shit like that. We'll have to see. But of course, they're introducing Arthur Pendragon in the anime, don't they? I feel like they're brought up quite a lot. So yeah, Einsberg Castle. Yeah, that's where we start. So they've had a baby, Iri, who is the mother, and Emiya, right? So they've been given birth to Ilyasvil. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's something like that. And Emiya mentioned that Iri is supposed to die. What does that mean? I do get what people mean now, the fact that there's so much fucking dialogue to take in. There was a lot going on. But she was mentioning about you know what I mean, or Emiya, you're the one that brought me out of that sort of mindset of being a mindless puppet. It seems like there is a very clear you know, they keep talking. There was a lot of like talk about, obviously, like there's you know, main families kicking around. The idea, especially with what Kenneth, like Archibald said, is that, you know, the longer the line has been, like the bloodline's been going, when it started from, like, you know, introducing like magic and whatnot, the longer that line is, the stronger the magic is. And I'm wondering if there's a sort of thing where, you know, like, you keep. I'm gonna have a guess. I'm not sure if this would be the case, but like, if it's anybody, it'll probably be fucking Archibald, right? Like a family that keeps it in the family, you know, like Game of Thrones, Targaryens and stuff, right? How they generally marry and have kids with their own family, like within their own family, so they keep the bloodline pure. I'm imagining there's got to be there has to be, right? There has to be a family in this story that does that specifically for the extra fucking magic prowess that they managed to get from it. Now, it's quite clear that that is not the case across, like, you know, all of the families, because obviously you have like Tosaka, who married into he got married to like a different woman. I can't remember what her last name was though. Ai, right? I can't remember what her last name is, but yeah, we also had the Ainsberg, like they're obviously not related, Iri and Emiya. So, you know, it's not a thing that, like, you know, it's not something that's obviously consistent throughout all of the families that are involved in this shit. But it, you know, I can imagine one of them has to do that. They have to be involved in that. So yeah, like back to the point anyway. If Iri's supposed to die, like I can kind of see like a whole case of like, if you're part of a family, you're kind of just, you know, you're brought up. The idea is that you sacrifice yourself for, like, I don't know, the good of your family going forward, that increases your magic. I don't know, so if it's something like that. They didn't really go into details to why Iri is supposed to die, but the fact that she was clearly a mindless puppet at one point makes me think that there is some, I don't know, there's some end goal with Ainsberg family members. Is that her last name? Is it Iri Ainsberg? Is that what it is? It's got to be, right? So yeah, I don't know if it's like some tradition or something that they follow, you know, and they're probably told from a very early age, it's like, this is what you fucking do. It's what you do, and it's got to be very militant. Like, it's got to be like very, like, you know, like literally, like, well, not literally beat into them, but, you know, metaphorically, like beat into them the idea that this is what you do, this is how you're supposed to do this. And it's probably not all that fun, which is why obviously she was happy the fact that Emiya pulled her out of that, which is yeah, it's interesting, like, you know. But they talked to her father, right? And that's where they ended up getting the relic from. So I don't know to what degree. I mean, I guess maybe. Well, I mean, Iri said that she's supposed to die anyway. So I'm guessing the idea is like she's still going towards that end goal that Ainsberg family members are supposed to do, but she's not a mindless puppet anymore. I don't know. It wasn't like focused on enough to where I got enough information. Hopefully they go into the reasons why. I'm guessing that's going to come up when Iri eventually does die, but we'll see. So yeah, so Holy Grail is the main. The item of choice that they've gone for. So obviously it's a very holy, right? Like the Holy Grail is the cup of which Jesus. What is it again? Is it the one that he turned the water into wine? Is that the one? I can't remember. But yeah, it's a very significant biblical item. And that's what they're focused around. The Holy Grail, apparently, in this story, can grant any wish. That's not a thing in the Bible, though. I'm positive that isn't a thing in the Bible, but that's what they're chosen to use. So you can grant any wish, and masters are chosen. There are 7 masters that are chosen, and then I wrote down they may choose heroes from the past, but I don't think they get a choice. I think, well, I mean, maybe they do get a choice depending on what relic they pick up. But even though some people had like relics and stuff, there was still like almost like a kind of thing of, oh, maybe we'll not get the one that we'll want. Though I've just had a thought. Just because there's 7, like, you get the choice of like 7 things and they're listed as Saber and Assassin and whatever the fuck. Maybe those are the names and they're chosen that specifically because if you bring a hero from the past, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that Saber is always Arthur Pendragon, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe then it's the idea that, like, oh, if you get a relic from another famous swordsman, or, you know, or a leader or whatever the fuck, that they could be called Saber, but they're a different hero, right? Could that be? Is that the case? Because if that's the case, then right, that makes sense then. So they were going for fucking Arthur Pendragon. So that scabbard is supposed to be the scabbard of Excalibur. I was never even aware that Excalibur had a scabbard. But apparently it heals. It heals. The wearer or the master, I guess. Yeah, I fucking, yeah. It just heals the wearer, which is mental. Okay, I mean, well, it's magic, innit? So I guess, you know, we'll be alright with it. Okay, so we had the 3 of those people wanting to well, it's not really 3, I guess it's 2. At the time, at the very start, when there was 3 of them, I didn't know the interconnections and the relationships. So obviously Kirei was there with his dad. That was, so the dad isn't a master, he's not a part of that. So the idea is that Kirei and Tosaka are teaming up, acting like they're going to be enemies, but actually doing things for the benefit of them both. That's the thing, though. I mean, it's a strategy. It's a good one. I mean, it's a smart one. I mean, you always have to keep an eye out for them, though, because that's when it can get very fucking sneaky. Like, that's when they can start, like, you know, doing things on the sly against, you know what I mean? Not only the enemies, but also, like, on the inside. So, you know, you could have Kirei doing some, like, things against... I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like Kirei... Because it made a note with Rin when she said, "Can I trust you?" That there's going to be that thing. I mean, it's going to come to fucking blows eventually, because again, it's like, it's a free for all. Eventually, if they manage to wipe out the rest of them, there's still those 2 that need to fight. You know what I mean? So while it's a strategy, it can't hold out forever. You know that eventually they're going to have to fight against each other. I mean, or they just get taken out before. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So yeah, the Holy Grail is being it's in Fuyuki. I'm guessing that is in Japan. I'm guessing that's where Tosaka is, like like that's where they are, like their place of residence is, because that is the most Japanese name there, obviously. Einsberg is Germany, and then yeah. So we got introduced to the Mato family. Mato Mana took away Sakura from their mother, or from her mother, and Rin as well, her sister. So was Sakura like actual blood related? Like, is that actually true born daughter? I don't know. But yeah, she was took away, and they had no power to say no. Like, I don't know, obviously, the ins and outs of how this, like, how it works, how, like, society works in this world, or in, like, in the different countries or whatever. But clearly Mato has some form of influence to the point there where they can just be like, I want that person, and they can take them without any resistance. So yeah, and apparently it's a family of vampires. I'm not. I mean, I'm not sure if it was confirmed. I feel like it was, because, well, first of all, whatchamacallum, what's his name? I did write it down somewhere. I will fucking find it. Where is his name? I did write it down. I'm sure I did. If I didn't, fuck. We know the guy, man. The guy who went in after is it Carrier? Yeah, it's Carrier. That guy. So he said that his dad was a vampire, right? I don't know if it was just a play on words kind of thing, supposedly meant as an insult. But the thing is that the head of the Zoko is his name, I think. That he's been clearly around for a very fucking long time, beyond human years. So, I mean, he's been around for. Did he say like how long he'd been around for? He's been around for multiple holy wars, though, Holy Grail wars. So, yeah, I mean. It's possible he's a vampire. I don't know if he is exactly, though. I mean, surely that would make Kyria a vampire as well, right? Or half, depending on, who his mother was. I don't know if that has any sort of... gives you a sort of boost in one magical school. Like necromancy would be an obvious one, I guess. But it seems like everyone knows necromancy at this point. Like... Everyone knows it. But yeah, I mean, if it's said later on, we'll get the information then. Yeah, and that fucking manor had a bloody I'm guessing they were crest worms that was fucking all over that fucking room. I'm guessing that's what he was talking about, because he mentioned the crest worms once, and then the next scene we saw that fucking poor girl Sakura being fucking. Like, that's just... Ugh. I mean, here's the thing, right? When I said before about how I'm guessing Einsberg, that's the sort of family that's probably like the protagonists. That's the ones you're supposed to follow, and on the side, I am fucking rooting for Carrier, man. I am rooting for that dude. You know what I mean? Because clearly he's the only one so far that has sacrificed anything so far for somebody else. So I'm rooting for that guy. I think it was I think it was done on purpose. It was purposefully done in the opening, which obviously at the end of the first episode is what they normally do. But it didn't show, at least what I could see, it didn't show Carrier's servant. And I think that is on purpose, because I think Kyria's surrounding him, like his story, is clearly the more. I mean, considering and relative to the rest of them, even more like mystery and mysticism behind it. Like, it's very dark on his story, and if. It's a tough one. Did they say he only had 1 month to live? So, are we at the point now at the start of the fucking war? Because I'm not sure it made it entirely clear. Like, it did say sometimes, like, 1 year before the Holy Grail War. And like, but I'm not sure it didn't say, like, a year had passed. I mean, they said that in dialogue. So, I'm guessing Carrier has been... It's continuously just been smothered by these worms for, like, a year. I mean, off and on or whatever, but Jesus. But yeah, there's clearly a lot more sort of like dark mysticism, a lot of like more questions that I want answered from Carrier's point of view and story compared to the rest of them. So we'll see what that is. I'm interested in all of them though, really. Honestly, I'm really in. I'm loving this so far. So yeah. Yeah, obviously, yeah, so Zoko obviously explained, like, Mato family secrets and stuff. Again, that goes with the sort of the idea that there's more mystery behind that story than anybody else's. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. There was a mention of the Mages Association, which I'm not sure if that kind of goes across different countries and societies, or if that's just in London, or in England. Because that's where they talked about Kenneth and the Archibald family and whatnot. So I'm guessing like every country like where, you know, particular families with influence have their own, you know, each country probably has their own like association of mages and whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, because there was talk about the church that Kyrie is a part of, and it's called like the Eighth Sacrament or something like that. So I'm guessing that's the similar thing. I mean, that could just be a religion based thing, not particularly mages, but I don't know. So yeah, so Waver again, yeah, we don't know where he's come from, but he seemingly is studying abroad in London. That was the whole point. So he put up he gave like a sort of what's the fucking, like an essay, like a bunch of papers regarding the idea that you don't need bloodline, you could actually be weak, but you know, if you're the most learned out of the lot of them, then you're able to, you know, conjure up as much magic as what, you know, as much as what Kenneth would consider, like, you know, he would be able to do, you know. So he's also got an interesting story. I feel like he's going to be very much, I mean, the things that he's seemingly done can be considered like very sort of dickish, and he seems very much up his own arse. You know, very much out for himself. I mean, considering the fact that obviously he took the package, which is obviously the relic, which I'm surprised they were fine just handing that around. I'd figure if it was a relic, like, you would want that to like be delivered directly to the fucking hand of the person, like not go through like students and shit, you know what I mean? Unless it was clearly like under wraps, like, you know, I mean, literally it was under wraps, it was packaged. But, you know, if the idea was that it was getting past there secretly, maybe only Waver thought that, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe he just took it, thinking, I'm just going to do this just to fuck over Kenneth, but I don't know. But seemingly everything Waver has done up until this point, he's not a good guy. But he is the weakest of the lot of them. Theoretically, if we're going by like what the others have done, I mean, when you look at the other participants, let's call them, they seemingly have a lot more legitimate reasons as to why they are fighting. So I'm feeling they're going to have a lot more will to go through with what they need to go and do. And also they have like past skills and shit, whereas Waver has nothing. And that's sort of like, I guess, the interesting part of his story is that he's going to be the ultimate fucking underdog. Like, he's going to be the one that's like, you know, that's going to be sort of like the guy that you like. Yeah, he's not going to do shit. Like, out of all of them, he's going to be the shittest. But, you know, I can probably see a case of like where he's probably going to surprise a few people, because people aren't going to be expecting him to do a lot. So yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, he's got I don't know which servant he's got, but it's a very beastly fucking dude with a beard. He's very animalistic. I'm feeling that's probably the last one that they mentioned. Was it the barbarian? Was that what they said? I feel like it began with a B. The last servant they mentioned, because they went through them all. Saber was first, and then Assassin was in there somewhere, and then the whatever was last. It was like because they had specific like sort of art for like the different servants. The last one almost looked like a wolf head, like very beastly. And I'm wondering if that's the case here. I don't know though. And also, I don't know what warrior that could be described as, like what hero of the past that is. I have no idea. So yeah, that's Waver. Another interesting story. We'll see where that goes in the future. So yeah, they mentioned that the three families that even started the Holy Grail War was Tosaka, Einsberg, and Macaris. I don't know how you pronounce that. Macaris. I don't know. But have we? I don't think we've been introduced to those yet, have we? I don't think we have. Because we know Tosaka, right? We know Einsberg. We know Kire, but he's not Macaris, right? We know the Mato family, right? So Karia, he's not Macaris either. So yeah, I'm guessing that's. I mean, we haven't. Did we get? Well, no, it's not going to be waiver, is it? Because it clearly stated that his family had only been like getting through magic users for like the past 3 generations, right? It's clearly not it. So yeah, it's not him either. So I'm guessing we haven't been introduced to Macaris yet. How many did we see? Was it 5? Waiver, Carrier, Emiya, Kirei, and Tosaka, right? Yeah, so that's 5. So there's 2 unaccounted for. Oh no, Kenneth as well, right? Kenneth is 1, isn't he? Yeah. So there's 1 more. There's 1 more that hasn't been accounted for, right? So that's going to be. I'm guessing that's going to be Macaris then. Okay. So yeah, they said, yeah, obviously select 7 masters every 60 years. Masters need a relic to act as a catalyst. Again, I'm thinking that there are fucking, I don't know how many, hundreds maybe of heroes across the fucking past that could have got anything depending on what relic they get. And it's not just a case of Saber is always Arthur Pendragon. It could be someone different, but, you know, we'll see. I wrote down El Malloy. I remember his name being brought up. I don't know I can't remember to like what they were talking about in regards to him or her. I don't know. But yeah, it was saying that Ainsberg always were alchemists and never won in the past Holy Grail wars. Which obviously, you know, paints them as an underdog, which, you know, furthers that sort of idea that they are the main protagonist of the show that you're supposed to kind of be behind. So yeah, so MIA, he was known as a mage slayer, and then on the other side you had Kirei, who was a heretic hunter. So it's very similar. Obviously, I think they're kind of natural rivals. It was obviously pictured as that, so they're going to be like 2 head-to-head people. Whilst the other shit is going on around them, we'll see what happens with those. They're very much interested in each other. It's interesting because Kirei seems to be more intrigued as to why Emiya was doing the things he did or why he's changed a bit. Whereas on the other side, Emiya is actually scared of Kirei. Like, he's very fucking terrified of what he's up to. So interesting, like the two different perspectives on that. So yeah. So the command spell is this sort of the mark that is on the person's hand that basically tells them, right, you've been chosen, and whatnot. So I'm interested. If it chooses them, does like what stops that person that's been chosen to be like, nah, I don't care, I don't even want it. It's like, yeah, I mean, all right, maybe that wouldn't be the case because each of them obviously has a reason as to why they want it. But surely, like, you know, in order to summon, I don't know, maybe they just choose 7 people, and then like if one of them just decides that they don't want to really go through with it as much as the rest of them, then they just get hunted down and killed anyway, or what? I don't know. The sort of war for the Holy Grail is an interesting one. This is the 4th one, right? Coming up. So the past 3, I'm guessing the idea is that every time this war comes around, there's been 3 winners in the past, right? So that means there's been like 3 wishes, and I'm wondering what those are. If we're gonna get any information on that going forward, it'd be interesting though. So yeah, and I'm guessing it wasn't for Kirei. It must have been for Tokiyomi, right? The first snake's fossilized skin. So the first snake that ever lived and died on this planet, the fossilized skin of that snake was the catalyst, the relic that was used to summon Tokiyomi's servant, which I have no idea who it is. I mean, I can't. The only like the only thing I can even think of in regards to snakes would be, I don't know, who was the guy that went up against Medusa? I don't know why that would be a relic of that guy though, because that would be something that, you know, I don't think so. There's also the World Eater snake in Norse mythology, but again, why would that be a relic? I don't know in what cases the relics actually work in regards to what's going on with this piece of hair. What the just wants to stick out. Okay, whatever. So yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, again, like the idea that there's been so many heroes over the past, I wouldn't know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to begin to start to think like what correlates to what hero. I mean, the idea of a scabbard that heals something, I never knew that Excalibur had a scabbard. I mean, you would think that it would, like, you know, obviously as logic states, it would have a fucking scabbard. But I mean, you know, in mythology, it was pulled out of a fucking stone without a scabbard. There wasn't a scabbard there, so you know, it's not like I could have looked at the scabbard and thought, yep, that's definitely, yep, Arthur Pendragon, definitely, that's got to be it, hasn't it? I would never have got that. So I doubt I'm ever going to get the other ones. I'm gonna have to just wait until they're brought up, and yeah, we'll just be getting a surprise from a lot of them. But yeah, I think that's all. I've gone through a lot of it, yeah. So yeah, obviously a lot of discussion, because obviously, you know, there was a lot of information, and it was a double-length episode, so double the information. So yeah, I'm very much interested to see where this goes. And yeah, so this today, I like the day of when I'm recording this now, this day, my provider got changed over. So the time I'm actually recording this is actually between like 8 and like 9 o'clock at night. So I don't have time to record episode 2 today. So I will do it tomorrow. So that means that those of you watching right now, if you want to get access to Fate Zero episodes as quick as possible, that means you'll get access to episode 2 tomorrow, the 11th of December. And then on Friday, you'll get episodes 3 and 4. Next Monday, 5 and 6. There'll be a lot of episodes coming every single week for early access to your patrons. So if you want to gain access to those episodes as quick as possible, make sure you become an early access to your patron. And yeah, you'll be getting those episodes very frequently. If not, and you're just going to be general public, then you will only get this episode until the 4th of January, because obviously this was taken over Code Geass, so there is still Code Geass videos to be released, and by the time the finale of Code Geass actually comes out to the general public, it's going to be the 4th of January. So for general public, you guys are going to have to wait a long time for episode 2. So if you don't want to wait, and you can justify the price point, you know what I mean, because I understand that, you know what I mean, paying for shit, you know what I mean, it can be annoying for people. But if you do want the episodes and to be like, you know, very far ahead by the time you know, the 4th of July comes around, then make sure that you become an early access to your patron on my Patreon. Okay, a link is in the description. So yeah, episode 2 of Fate Zero will be out on Patreon tomorrow, the 11th of December. Okay, so yeah, make sure to go check that out. So yeah, I think that is all, right? I don't think I need anything else to talk about. Anything else? No. So I think that's it. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Honestly, the fellas who recommended this, it's I should really get this up, shouldn't I? Because yeah. shit, I can't find it. I'll address it in the next episode, because yeah, I should have really had that up and ready. So, but you guys, honestly, thank you for honestly requesting this, because one episode in and I'm already enjoying it. I'm loving the premise so far, so it should be very good. But yeah, that is also, thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One is the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because that's where polls and things start. And also, if you just want to come on and talk with me or the community, I'm free to do that as well. And Patreon. So yeah, I've just talked about Patreon. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you actually want to support me with. So early access is the $5 a month. You gain access to everything a week early, and for Psychopaths and Fate, you get 4 episodes every single week. So you actually get more, and you get them earlier as well. $10, that's the full length. So if you want to see my full unedited reaction to this episode or any other episode of every show I've ever done, then make sure you become a full length tier patron. You'll be able to watch my full unedited reaction. You know, so there's that. The exclusive tier, that's $15 a month. So for that, you gain access to a bonus show that I'm reacting to, which is currently Mob Psycho 100. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go over there. And yeah, the elite tier and God tier, $50 and $100. Basically, every time you pay those, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to. The difference is that God tier makes it so that your show actually gets up to the front of the queue, so that your show will be reacted to next. Elite tier just means that it goes to the back of the list, so it might take me a while to get around to it. But yeah, that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.